is trying to have me murdered with her devil husband, Joseph Olvera. My child's father, Austin John Matter. He is the devil in these witches' covens. And he also threatened to partake in sexual abuse of our son. My son is a mixed race little boy. I'm African and Indian. And my son is African Indian and what some would say Caucasian. This coven of witches has abducted my son and devils. And they are trying to have me murdered with everyone that is in their witch coven. For anyone who has defeated witch covens before, then you understand the severity of our need to get the child from this witch's coven. And I hope that that would allow you to get a little bit of understanding of how dangerous it is for me, for the witches and devils who are in this coven that abducted my child and threatened to do sexual abuse to my child until the point of murder. You understand the severity of the type of trouble and danger that I'm in as a mother. I'm also with child by the devil in the witch's coven, Austin John Matter. He was abusing me, and I shot him in the leg while he was attacking me and my son. So everyone in this witch's coven has given their soul over to Satan. And if y'all understand anybody who has defeated these witches' covens, then you understand the severity that I'm in with my child being with people who have given their soul to Satan, and my child that I am pregnant with, they are torturing and starving us with satanic ritual abuse. And they also plan to steal my child that I am a child with for sexual abuse, ritual abuse in this coven. So people who have defeated these covens, you understand that the death of women and children is inevitable within these covens. You may also know that it takes a lot to get a witch to tell the truth about her membership in the coven. And you also may know that they have a organization where they meet up and they help one another in groups. If you know anything about witches' covens and them selling their soul to Satan, then you also know about the murder of children. That a witch is not the same as a regular woman. And that when she gets someone's child, a witch is not a normal babysitter or caretaker or caregiver. A witch is downright wicked. And a witch will pass your child around, which is what the Grand White Witch, Cynthia Olvera, said that she would do with my son. He should be 4 years old now. and 5 years old in October. This witch has had my son since September 18, 2018. I have several YouTube channels exposing these witches trying to murder me, but I want to go back to her threatening to harm my son. She threatened to pass my son around to the devils in the coven and to the other witches in the coven. They threatened to do sexual group ritual abuse on my child and to murder and mutilate my child and to give my child of their plagues. They were saying it with no remorse. And if any of you are listening who have any experience with defeating witches' covens, do more research. Because what I researched about them was exactly what I'm dealing with. The witches' coven was not remorseful, and if you know anything about defeating them, as the research that I have done so far, it stated that a witch, their coven will try to fight you so hard to the point where people had to use extreme violence in order to stop the witches and the devils in the coven from doing wickedness to women and children. Based off of the research that I have found, I want anybody who has any experience or would like to help, do your research, and you will see that there had to be force used in order to find out the information from the members in the coven. She is a grand white witch in a coven, and she stole my child. And they're worshiping Satan. You will see that the most gruesome witches said that they gave their souls over to Satan. The most gruesome witches. So now, this woman has my son saying that she gave her soul to Satan. And when you see the most grisly, nasty things that these covens are doing, then you will know the danger as in why I'm making these videos and crying out all over the world for someone to come and get my baby from these witches' coven and to get me out of America with my children. Now, it is very important to know that they are giving their soul to Satan, that they have given their souls to Satan. They have given their souls to Satan. They have already done this. So that's the level of wickedness that we are dealing with. Anyone who knows the history of these covens and how bad it gets once they have given their soul to Satan. They have given their souls to him. And they are fully engulfed in the rituals that he has them doing. And it's blood death rituals. And it's sick, abominable things. And they have already done this. And they are refusing to return my child. And they are refusing to allow me to get any help to try to get my child. And they are trying to murder me. So the witches' coven is trying to murder me, and I've had my child and said that they are going to do this, and they have been abusing me while pregnant. So Satan is white. So the witches' covens have all of these children of different ethnicities in this country in the coven now. They got them to worship Satan with the coven. And as hard as that was for me to believe, it's true. And once you have denounced the Most High God and given your soul over to Satan, I guess it's just no going back after that. Another thing about a witch is that she's very good at lying. She's very good at manipulating. She's very good at being manipulative. And I say that because of the American witch. I don't even want to call any of them American women because of the American witches. They are very manipulative. They are very cunning. And they are very disrespectful. So they have all of the African American women in the coven that's worshiping Satan, worshiping white, and denouncing color, and behaving as if they are white while doing the Wiccan. They have all the Hispanic women in the coven. They have all of the Hispanic women in the coven. And they are worshiping the whites and doing the Wiccan. They have all of the Asian women in the witch coven. And they are worshiping the white, worshiping Satan. And they are doing the Wiccan. They have every woman in this country doing the witchcraft from the witch coven, worshiping white, worshiping Satan, and denouncing God. And this is a ritual that they are doing that is well versed with having them denounce Jehovah and Jesus Christ. And it involves them bowing down to worship Satan and then doing whatever it takes for his kingdom of white. So if that means going and stealing children, allowing them to molest and rape children as a part of this coven, they're allowing them to do this now. They're trying to go all the way back to the time where they were telling us that slavery was over. They're out here stealing our babies and saying that it's okay to rape and kill our babies now. And they have stolen my child and threatened to rape and kill my only son. And I am also with child. So everybody is in this coven now. And the coven is the United States coven. It's the United States coven. The United States is a coven of witches. And although Jehovah and Jesus Christ is God of the earth, he does not exist here in America. This is Satan's kingdom. Everybody is bowed down to Satan, and it's a coven. It's just one big den of witches and devils. And they have stolen my son and threatened to sexually abuse, mutilate, murder, and plague him to death. And also to do the same to me. and I'm with child, and they have tortured this baby, and they threaten to molest this child as well. So I'm calling out to all of my bloodlines, but I'm also calling out to any of the bloodline of Satan who may not be bowing down to Satan but worshiping Jesus Christ, that have dealt with these type of witches. I'm calling out to you as well. I'm calling out to you in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jehovah, in the name of righteousness. I'm calling out to you to help us with this coven. This United States coven of witches that have stolen my child and threatened to sexually abuse, mutilate, murder, and plague him. Saying that they serving the devil, Satan. So, I'm calling my bloodlines all over the world, because they're stuck mentally here in the mindset of slavery. They're stuck in the mindset of it's okay to let a white devil rape her child because she shot a white devil that was attacking her and her child. You know, they're in the coven. Even the black witches said that they would also participate in the rape, murder, and mutilation of my child. So another thing about a witch is they are very manipulative. If you know that I'm dealing with a coven and you care, you need to just get over here right away. Jehovah and Jesus Christ has helped me, but they're all doing it. And I cannot fight an entire country of witches raping my child and raping me and trying to murder us off of the land and say that they would do it satanically, like how they did throughout the 400 years of slavery. They are the ones who were committing the murders, I suppose. This witch's coven, and it involves black people as well. So it goes back to make me think about who was really hanging from a tree and who was really burning and who and why were they doing this and allowing it. And then to see the African Americans doing this witchcraft with them, then trying to claim some sort of heritage of the saints is ridiculous. The African Americans are witches. They were doing the murders and slavery with the whites. They were all doing it. And they were not the victims. For people who was able to run away and fight Satanism, which is what slavery actually was, Satanism, where you got a coven of witches that's worshiping Satan and over there murdering hundreds of black women and children to Satan, who is white. So now that I see all these white people running around trying to act demonic with me, you're just revealing yourself the way that God did. And you belong to Satan on a higher level because of bloodline. So that's what's been going on out here in America with any so-called racist Klansmen or racism people. They're just Satanists and witches and devils in a coven that worships Satan. don't really got anything to do with racism. It got everything to do with God and everything to do with the devil. So this country in itself is a devil country. The entire thing, because everybody is trying to run around and steal my baby for their coven. And everybody that come in and out is just imported. Everybody that get born here is just imported. My baby is being treated like an imported slave. I'm being treated like an imported slave. To say that you will rape him like a mule, rape us like mules. And then we're completely alone on the continents with this coven. So I'm calling out to the rest of the world to come and help us fight this coven. Because they're not going to change. They're not going to change if they're going to take a little boy from his African Indian mother, who his father was raping and hitting me, and we were in love, but his father is white and was raping and hitting me, and it's 2021, and they're going to take my little boy and threaten to rape him and mutilate him in 2021, and the entire country is going to sit back and murder me and take my baby and rape my baby until my baby is dead in 2021, then I would be a dumbass not to be calling out to the rest of the world to come and stop America from what they are trying to do. Because I am done with being a slave. I am done with y'all and y'all slavery when y'all took my little boy and threatened to rape and mutilate my little boy. He does not belong to you. It's slavery in general to take my child from me and then try to leave me out on the streets. I'm calling somebody to come here and rescue me and my son from these Americans that have abducted my son, and they're trying to treat me as a mule and murder me. And there is no such thing as black love or any of that stuff. Nothing. Only thing we ever was to this country was a slave, and to be taking our children for rape and sexual abuse. That's all that this coven wanted. That's all that they wanted. And of course, the black men doing what I heard they've been doing for centuries. Over here trying to sell my baby to sex slaves, to sex slavery. To be a sex slave to the whites in the coven, and to who mainly wanted to do it to my son. And then, of course, the other blacks that's involved. And Hispanics, Asians, everyone. So right now, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, which is what I call Sodom and Gomorrah, where I'm walking alone, pregnant. I'm pretty starved, but I've barely eaten. And everyone, they got all these people in the coven surrounding me, because the whole country is a coven. It's called the United States Coven of America. God was showing me that the White House was an illusion. And it is. It's just an illusion. There is no government other than bowing down to Satan. That's their only government that they really have, is Satan. And it's the United States Coven of America. Just how God has a covenant with us as his children, Satan has a covenant with America that they all have to serve him on this continent and denounce Jesus Christ and Jehovah, his color. So they're trying to maintain power over the earth. and it's not really working because the children of God are all over the earth. So everybody that's driving around is in the coven surrounding me. They got them all posted up at the bus stops. They're everywhere. That's all I can say. But I'm out here by myself, and I am being taken advantage of by the people in the coven. I have other channels. They tried to lock me out of those channels. And of course, when dealing with devils and wicked people, they're going to try to make me afraid of them and trying to control and intimidate me. And I just need to rescue my son from the Grand Witch. And I'm stuck in Atlanta with other witches from this coven because it's the whole country. It's the entire country. And we need to be rescued immediately. I don't need, if anybody who can help us, we don't need for you to wait another day. We need for you to come right away, because as a mother, for them to try to put me in a position to where I have to cry and think about these whites raping my child in this witch coven is so sick that I have made 7 YouTube channels and they have tried to murder me every single day since they took my son, and they were trying to murder me for my son before I protected us. And something has to happen. Somebody needs to stand up for African American women and children at this point outside of the country. We need somebody to stand up for us and say, we're not going to have another generation of y'all getting away with raping and killing young black women, because I'm 30 years old. And they took my 22-month-old baby when I was 28 and threatened to rape him with a gang of whites, Uncle Toms, Hispanics, and this is time to stop. I said it needs to end. So I'm going to call out for the rest of the world to come here and make them stop. My son was 22 months old. For God's sake, somebody needs to stand up, because we're going to have to fight. I'm going to have to fight them all alone by myself in America, because you're not going to rape a 22-month-old boy and then still saying that that is their heritage. That is what they said. So slavery, I guess they're saying, oh, it never really ended. We've been raping little boys over here for the longest. I don't want to hear anybody talking about they're afraid, because I'm about to show you some research on why they should be very afraid to be telling me you're going to rape a child that belongs to a black woman, and that I'm not going to do anything about it, because the blacks are helping them, which is why I'm calling out to the rest of the blacks in the rest of the world who are not wicked, who have not given their soul over to Satan, who have not given their soul over to this white devil and this white witch in America, because that's all that it is a witch's coven that did all of this to these people of color, and our children have been taken, and the blacks here are portraying themselves as mighty black people who helped us, and that's not what's going on over here. So my little boy is a beautiful little mulatto little boy, and the blacks here are doing witchcraft and sold my son to the white witches in the coven to be raped and molested. And it's 2021, and my son has not been returned, and everybody in America is trying to set me up to be murdered and sex trafficked. And they have followed me all the way down this street, swarming up on me, but I did not stop recording what I needed to say. because they're all going to set me and my precious child up like they have been doing other blacks this entire time. This is what black people who were successful in America, I suppose, were doing. Setting up innocent women like me to be raped, setting our little boys up to be snatched and murdered and raped. And then they got the nerve to still be chasing me around in cars, trying to uphold some sort of slavery in this country. My family is in this coven that thinks it's okay to rape and molest my son, and for whites to rape, for anybody to rape and molest my child. My family is, and all the black men in America are in this coven of witches and devils. So they see me on my video recording this long, and you know, they think that I'm so afraid to where I'm recording such a long video with them swarming around us. But mainly, I'm getting the information out about this evil country that is nothing but a country of witches. The entire country, everybody. There is no one righteous in this country. And they all rape and molest children. And I guess I am the only one who is going to be crying out because I did not worship Satan.